I've got 5 ways to identify burnout if you're in a sales role, and how you can act upon that to make sure that you always keep those batteries charged. All right, number 1 is, and this one might be a little controversial, is you're not actually going hard enough at the things that you love to do. Meaning you created a work environment to where you're just spread so thin, or you're doing so many things that just aren't what energize you, and so you're getting burnout. So you're not going hard enough at the sales. It might be, hours. Burnout isn't necessarily related to the number of hours that you work. So I want everyone to think about that. Are you actually spending the majority of your time in the things that you are great at and enjoy doing and excite you, or not? Because that's number 1 for burnout. You might not be going hard enough at the things that you love doing in your current role. All right. Number 2, take some time to reward yourself. I suck at this. I will be the first to admit it. This is something that's taken me a long, long time to do, right? So for me, what I really focus on now is, like, if something big happens, I take a pause. I recognize it. I try to look at what happened. Reward yourself, okay? Something small, 10% of whatever you make, reward yourself. All right, number 3 is they stop growing. So if you feel stagnant, if you feel this, how did you get there? It's probably because you're comfortable. Because I can tell you, and a lot of people, when they come and work for me and they work for our organization, we kick it into the next gear. Change is uncomfortable. Change and learning new things and growth is gross. Growth is messy. Growth is discomfort. If you remember when you grew up, your bones hurt and all that. So, understand that if you want to avoid burnout, start to find that next growth thing that you're pushing yourself forward. All right. Number 4, you take on too much. You might have watched my video where I talk about yes, no problem, yes, no problem, yes, no problem, yes, no problem, and you just take on all this stuff. So then you get overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is a mindset. Overwhelmed is something that happens to you. And you have the ability to impact it and change the way that you think about the world. I hate the term overwhelmed because, 1, it's because you said yes to too much. So what can you do? Renegotiate. The antidote to overwhelmed is renegotiation. So I want you to think about the different things that you've said yes to, how you've done it, and go back and renegotiate. Hey, I know I said yes. I'm actually going to get to that in like 6 weeks. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Or I have these 3 other things. How do you want me to reprioritize? So there you go, renegotiate. And number 5, last but certainly not least, is unrealistic expectations of yourself. That you get burnt out because it's like, I'm never doing enough. I should be doing more. I know I could be doing more. And you start to feel like you're just fighting against, what we call the whirlwind. And you set these unrealistic expectations that you'll never get out of. So instead, make sure that you're setting up projects with little mini rewards, little mini timelines. Hey, like for my day, like for example, when I was a frontline rep, I would say, hey, well, as soon as I make 20 calls, I'm going to get up, take a 15-minute break, walk around, shoot, whatever. So don't set unrealistic expectations for yourself and give yourself those micro rewards. So that's it. I can honestly say I've been tired, but I don't know if I've ever been burnout. And the way that I've avoided burnout is by doing these 5 things. So I hope this helps everyone. Please, make sure if you have some comments here, I'd love to hear them. Make sure to subscribe. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you on the next video.